Hi, everybody. This is Mr. Pugh, and we are going to get started with sight reading. So, in our last video, we were reviewing our hand signs and the major scale. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to apply those hand signs to some sight reading and look at how we read music. Now, I forgot to mention before that those hand signs are called Kerwin hand signs. So, just so you're extra smart for your next party, you can tell people, I know Kerwin hand signs. Also works on the dance floor. I mean, don't do that on the dance floor. We don't need that at prom this year. But could be dope. Looks pretty cool like a robot. All right, anyways. Moving on, we are going to be, of course, applying these ideas of solfege, our major scale, our Kerwin hand signs, and the basics of sight reading. So already you've been learning about rhythm with Mr. Sant, and so we're going to kind of apply these two things together. Sight reading is really awesome because it allows us to combine pitch and rhythm into a nice little bite-sized piece so we can practice our sight reading. So whenever we look at a sight reading example, so here we have a sight reading example. Whenever we look at it, we have a couple of steps that we need to go through. Let me pull them up here. I have a sight reading checklist. So number 1, we have to check our time signature. Number 2, check your rhythm. Number 3, check your intervals. Establish yourself in the key. Practice the sample on your own. And then get reading. Now, I know this seems like a lot to do in such a short period of time, but it really is important that we practice these steps before we begin anything. So first, let's look at this time signature. It's pretty easy. It's 4/4, so we already know that there are 4 beats per measure. We then are going to look through and check the rhythm. Are there any tricky things? Are there any weird ties or weird dots or anything like that over the bar? No, nothing like that for this one. We're starting off easy, okay? Next, we're going to check our intervals. Intervals meaning how far away the notes are from one another. We'll review that in an upcoming lesson. But we're looking at how far away each one of these notes are from the other. And this doesn't seem like it's too far away. Now, the last step is we need to establish ourselves in the key. Now, if we were practicing on Sight Reading Factory, which I encourage you all to do, up here in this corner, you can actually click this little tuning fork and it will play. I don't know if it'll play for you right now. Let's see. Yeah, it won't. But regardless, if you click on that tuning fork on your own, you'll be able to have that sound. But we're going to get established. So here's our do being C. And we're going to just sing a little bit around it. We're just going to go like do, re, mi, fa, so, fa, mi, re, do. Try that with me. Ready and go. Very nice, very nice. So now that we kind of establish ourselves in the key, we're going to practice as much as we can. So we're going to have 30 seconds to practice as much as we can to see kind of what we're dealing with, humming it to ourselves, kind of feeling it through. So let's give ourselves 30 seconds and go. Make sure you have that steady pulse when you're practicing it too. All right, and that is 30 seconds. So let's try it together. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and go. So I was humming because I wanted you to sing it out, and I feel like that might have been weird for you. So let's move on, and let's try it now with a new exercise. We kind of have this feeling of how we're supposed to go through it, so let's move on to our next exercise. All right, you have 30 seconds. It's the same key. Practice on your own, and we'll try it together. Practicing it, go. and done. Okay, here we go. Let's try it with our hand signs. I'll sing it with you this time. 1, 2, ready, and go. Do, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. That's really good. That's really good. So you'll notice that some of these we might get some little tricks. Maybe that fa felt a little weird for you. Maybe this fa here in measure 2. If you find these parts that are tricky, review them again. So, do, re, mi, fa, mi, fa, mi. Break down the little parts that are giving you trouble, and then try it again. Let's try this exercise one last time before we move on. Here we go. And really focus on that fa. Fa's a tricky one. 1, 2, ready, and go. Do, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. And holding that note all the way through to the end. So that's awesome. Every time you are doing sight reading, it's like a little bit of a mental practice. It's like working those music reading muscles. And so the more you do it, the better you get. If you end up going here to Sight Reading Factory, we'll have accounts set up for you here soon. You can actually change the settings of what you want to do. You can change the instrument to your own instrument, not just for choir. You can even have band instruments, any sort of instrument you want. You can have choir. You can change the level so that it's more complicated rhythms. You can do time signatures. You can change key signatures. All of these, again, allow you to work those mental muscles of reading music. And the quicker you can read these small little bite-sized pieces, the quicker you can put those pieces together in a larger piece. So, practice on sightreadingfactory.com. And next time we'll be talking about intervallic reading and how we can start building our skills even more. Happy practicing!